Meet up with that Alejandro character.
There's so many better things that you could be doing here, Mom.
I know, but since I'm here, I might as well just go ahead and meet up with him to see what he has.
You know, in life sometimes, it's better to not get your family involved in your business because you see, this is what happens. You know, Chantel's trying to move on from Pedro, but Karen now, she has her own intentions, but she's still got to know things. Why? What benefit do you have from knowing things? Just let your daughter just move on and then that's it. But you know what Karen is ignoring? The more she dives into Pedro's intentions, the more she's going to be demoralizing her child. But think about it, you know? Think about the fact that you find out officially that the guy you was with or the girl that he's with was only with you just for a green card. That would make you feel so less than. Now, of course, the truth is very key sometimes. And yes, sometimes the truth is needed. But the truth is only needed if the person who was hurt is seeking it. But Chantel isn't seeking it. She's done by it. So Karen, to be honest, she should be disappointed in herself because the fact is she's ignoring her daughter's needs. But what a daughter wants. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hearing from my mom what the PI said the other day and finding out that I was right all along, it is making me a bit curious about what Alejandro may have to say. New information about Pedro and to constantly be faced with, you know, the reality that we didn't work and
What's going on, people? We are back. You see, this is my point. Chantel even talks about herself a little bit, you know? The more I find out new things, it's not doing anything for me. It's just hurting me more and more and more. Huh. But hey, man, this is what happens when you have people in your life who are just way too nosy. And to be honest with you, sometimes when people are trying to investigate things, they're not even doing it for you. They're just doing it because they just love to investigate things and they just love to know things for the sake of knowing them, not because they actually bring any benefit in any kind of way. And Karen gives me the vibe of someone who just wants to know things for the sake of it. She's bored. She wants to have a hobby, and the hobby is literally digging in dirt on Pedro until like forever. I mean, listen, the divorce is here now. It's done and dusted. Nothing else needs to be done. Hey, I guess sometimes some people really do live up to their name. That was so creepy. I mean, the laugh was creepy. But anyway, we continue.
Con su vagina. Yo creo que el hecho de ella estar tan necesitada de tantos años sin sexo, de tantos años sin sentir el amor.
El hecho de que yo decida darle una oportunidad a Scott no tiene que ver, como Nicole dice, que esté pensando con la vagina.
I'm sorry, but who sits there and allows their daughter to say to them, hey, you're only with this man purely because of the... Wow. Wow. You know what? The Nicole's got one hell of a mouth and she says a whole lot of things and gets away with a whole lot of things. Really? I mean, for me personally, I find this very, very strange. I can't imagine a conversation like this. This conversation is just very off-key for me. I mean, to be honest with you, everything about just Nicole is off-key. Even Lydia's off-key. Pedro's just... Pedro.
Llegar a mi vida. Bueno, Scott, pensé darme una oportunidad para ver si verdaderamente podía encontrar un gran amor.
To imagine that we live in a world where apparently Scott deserves a second chance. Like, yo, in Love in Paradise, this guy left you for another woman in the same building. You know what's so crazy sometimes when people are... I wouldn't use the word hypocrite necessarily. I don't know what the word is. Maybe you can fill it in for me, please. But maybe it is hypocrite. I don't know. But you know when somebody is giving energy to their own son's daughter, a whole sudden level of energy, but yet they want to go out there and give another guy a chance who is far worse than the person that her own son was with. Make that make sense. It's not even about whether it was Pedro or Chantel who was worse in the relationship. Is the fact is that Lydia behaved a certain type of way towards Chantel, right? But yet she's willing to give Scott a chance. Scott. Scott. You couldn't write this level of stupidity.
Pedirme perdón, hay que darle una oportunidad a ver si él no tiene lo mismo comportamiento.
He apologized, so I forgave him. Interesting. It is interesting, isn't it, when how people behave based on when they have a love interest compared to when they see their children have a love interest, or maybe when they see their parents have a love interest. It is quite interesting how the perspective changes, the attitude changes, how they see things so much differently. And most importantly, it's crazy what they're willing to tolerate for themselves, but don't want to see see someone else tolerate. It's tiring, isn't it? Wow. I think, to be honest with you, at this stage, I'm just like, they probably just bought Scott in for the sake of it. Because, boy, I'm finding it very hard that she wants to give this guy another chance. But then at the same time, though, it is this family.
Lo que tú entiendas, si tú quieres ser feliz con él, si él quiere
No,
irse
no,
con
no.
500
¿Tú
colombianas.
sabes lo que vamos a hacer? Vamos a conocerlo a él.
Ya yo lo conocí.
No, no.
I really dislike Nicole. Her energy is so extra. Honestly, Nicole, for me personally, is worse than Jasmine. Jasmine's a whole lot to handle, but I feel like with Jasmine, maybe I've become numb to it. I don't know. But with Nicole, it's just like all of her action just comes from someone who's just very young. You know? I can't put my finger on it. I just can't, because I don't understand where she gets this level of frustration from all the time. With Jasmine, we know where it's from. That's why I guess it's tolerable now, right? Even though it's still a headache. With her, like, what's got this girl so crazy, so unhinged? Like, yo, relax, calm down. Always shouting and stuff. Always upbeat, roll. Like, what's going on here? But the fact is, though, the mum enables that behavior. But hey, man, is she lying, though, about Scott moving around with different women here, there, and everywhere? She ain't lying. But we know that Scott is one hell of a player out of these streets. Just imagine that. Scott's a player. Goddamn. What the hell am I doing wrong? But let's continue. I don't mean in terms of, like, being a player. I'm talking about, like, man's getting girls with women all left, right, and center. Like, yeah, I'm still looking for mine somewhere. Where you at? Ah, damn. But anyway, doesn't it just boggle your mind if you're looking at yourself right here, right now, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm a handsome guy. I'm in good shape. I'm a nice person. Or if you're a woman, you're like, my hair's always nice. You know what I mean? Oh, I mean, if you ain't got a beard, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you're whatever women do, you know what I mean? But you're like, but I am struggling. And then you got Scott out here. Scott. Let that sink in. I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse. Scott being out here and getting women left, right, and center? Or each time you watch 600 pounds, they always have a partner. Wow. Now that's a conundrum. I don't know which one's worse. But we continue.
So foreign to me. And my husband hardly took me on a date. Pedro used to take me on dates in the Dominican Republic, but always invite his sister. That doesn't seem like a date now, does it? I don't know what that was about. The only time we went on a date without his sister was when he proposed to me.
You know when you realize to yourself that your standards are really that low? You really wanted him that bad? That you went on dates with him and his sister? And you still said yes to him proposing? Sometimes I guess we can look back at our attitude and look back what our standard was. And I'm sure that sometimes when we do that, we can look at ourselves and be like, you know what? I was an idiot. No wonder why I got screwed over. Meanwhile, we just saw him go on a date with Karina, like just them two. I mean, rumor has it he was going out on dates with his boss just like that. But the whole time he was complaining about Chantel doing this and that, but yet he couldn't even treat his own woman. But to be fair, I'm not even going to put that blame on him. I want to put the blame on her because she's the one that accepted that type of behavior from him. Why would you accept that? Never expect less than. Sometimes I hear some women, you know, I talk to them sometimes and they'll be like, you know, yeah, I went on a date with this guy and yeah, he kind of just forgot his wallet, so I had to pay for him. I don't mind paying, but like, you know, obviously I do that. I'm thinking, so you saw him again? Yeah, but obviously the next time he was like, I'm like, hold on a minute. The moment that you allow someone to walk all over you and, you know, be the person that pays or be the person that does this, and that, right? You know you're screwed, right? You know that person's done it on purpose, right? More or less. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes it can happen by accident, but the way I look at this, if you can't come prepared on our first ever date, first ever meeting, then why the hell am I going to trust you to come prepared moving forward? I'm not saying you shouldn't give the person a second chance, but sometimes I just be like, man, you wasted my goddamn time. I don't like you, and I don't like my time wasted. So my point being is like, be careful with what standard you set for yourself. No, be stubborn with the standard you set for yourself for the first meeting. You know what I mean? Okay? But don't be like ridiculously stubborn as in like you're gonna set a standard living up here. You know what I mean? Set a reasonable standard. Do you know what I mean? Come on, don't be a fool because people be doing that nowadays. You know what I mean? People be setting standards that they can't even live up to. Make that make sense? just because they want to experience something different. But we continue. Okay, I don't usually do this, but I just have to mention this, okay? Is it me or is Lydia, did she literally turn up to this date in a bikini? Because I swear to God, that's all I can see there. It's like she came up and she was like, listen, I'm ready to get naked right here, right now. Because all I see is a bra and panties, and then that, come on, I don't know. It just bothered me a little bit. Like, who does this? Come on. Are you mad? If you did this to me, it's a problem. Hey, we ain't finishing no meal. We ain't ordering no meal. I'm picking you up and we're going somewhere real quick. Maybe behind that tree right there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm just saying, man, I find it very, very off-key, to be honest with you. I just don't understand the logic behind it. It's probably something small, but I just wanted to point it out. But anyway, let's get back into the seriousness of this whole episode.
Scott, you are enough. You are enough. I'm so sorry for you, but No.
Stop it, let's go.
Was there any need for that? What's wrong with this girl? You see what I mean? There's no excuse for this behavior. Honestly,
He obviously manipulated the situation, told her, no, I'm so sorry, but he has sex with that woman. I know.
listen, I get it. Scott rocks up, he turns up there, and they want answers, okay? And of course, you know, it's only right for them to assume that Scott did have intimacy with the other woman, you know, in the same compartment, in the same facility, same apartment, whatever you call it, as where he was staying with Lydia. And I get it. I can get where it's obviously triggered her. Like, I get where obviously it's made her upset. And I get, yes, and I agree. Scott is someone that definitely manipulates everything, 100%. I get that. But sometimes you have to change your approach, and Nicole needs to understand that her approach stinks. It's horrible. I don't know how any man would actually want to be with her, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, it's not like she doesn't keep the same energy when she's with her partner either. I mean, we've seen it with Alejandro. Come on, man, like, why can't you just look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what, the way I behave is actually quite pathetic. It's tragic. It's childish. It's unattractive. I think that's the most important part. It's unattractive. Imagine she had kids. Imagine what kind of role model she would be for her children. I hope she doesn't have kids ever. Unless she changes her tone, attitude.
When doing intimacy with Scott, that's why she's been, you know, overlooking her flags. I really worry about if my mom get more intimate with Scott.
You see, I don't know how I missed that. When did Lydia and Scott get intimate? But you know what, though? This is what happens sometimes. Sometimes when you're intimate with somebody, it does make you want to latch on. I mean, I think it's more of a woman thing than a man thing, but then again, I can say that. But I do know a lot of guys out there, once they sleep with a woman, and if it's that good, they get a bit hooked onto it, and then, yeah, the rest is history. And I only make that sound because they end up being with someone toxic, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. But yeah. He's making a very good point, though, you know, about the mother and the intimacy with Scatty Scat. And it does make sense to a certain degree why she doesn't want to let go of him. But at the same time, though, there's been so many red flags from Scott's side. How do you ignore them? After all the red flags, or after everything that you was trying to do to pull your son away from Chantel, you're gonna allow yourself to be in a situation with somebody that's worse than Chantel. To be fair, in my opinion, I think Scott's worse than the whole Chantel family, to be honest with you. But no, it's okay though. It's okay. It's okay. Lydia sees what she sees and she wants to be with him no matter what. Yikes.
Dale una segunda oportunidad a Scott, porque entiendo que es.
If you agree with anything that she just said right there, hit the dislike button. If you disagree with what she said, hit the like button. Because goddamn, there's nothing that she said there that I could ever agree with. Scott's a what? I'm not even going to repeat that because this is just disgusting to say. Far from it. Far from it.
This is Tim over at TriStar Investigation. I know you were supposed to be meeting with our friend Alejandro up there in New York. Well, I just got a message from him, and it seems like Alejandro has been communicating with Nicole.
Is a scammer just like Pedro is. They're all working together to get the dinero from Americanos.
A lesson.
Well, it's not a lesson. It's a
We
good
should
sign.
leave it alone and just move on.
It meaning
No,
what?
no
What
meddling.
You think Karen's ever going to listen? You think Karen's ever going to give a damn about leaving anything alone? I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with Chantel 100%. This is the sign say leave it alone. They said Karen's quick to say, well, Alejandro's a scammer too, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not disagreeing with what she's saying, you know what I mean? Boy, man, just let it go. Let it go. if I'm gonna see a season of Chantel and Pedro having disputes, I want it to be because them two having disputes, not because Karen just wants to keep instigating things. Like I said before, the more she does this, the more she's killing her own daughter's confidence. You know what I mean? Because like Chantel already said, the more she finds out, the more she gets hurt. She may not realize it right now, but she's getting hurt more and more because at the end of the day, it's making her generally feel subconsciously inside that, hey, am I really not worth anything? Is that all I'm worth? A green card? Does no man actually want to just come in my life and actually take me out on an actual date? Does no man actually want to come in my life and actually just, love me for me and I can love them for them and we can just mold ourselves and create a family that's just the way we are in our lifestyles? And that's the thing that I don't like about peer pressure from family. I feel like family peer pressure is one of the worst things that we come across. There's a lot of people in relationship because of their family. Because mommy said, you should be with this guy, he's a lovely guy. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, you should be with this girl, she's a lovely girl, Same thing with daddy or whatever, And you end up being with that person for what? Or if you break up with someone that your family loves and that person wants to take you back, you should really give him a chance. You should really give her a chance again. Come on. Why? I left him for a freaking reason. And the worst line is when families say to you, but he's such a great person. I don't think you can ever get anything better than him. The fact that some people have the audacity to say to their children, I don't think you can do better than him or her. Oh, is that my wife, your parents? You're telling me that I can never do it better again? Really? And the question is, what is that even based on? Is that based on how they look or based on who they are? Because if it was based on who they are, then you don't understand why I don't want to be with them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes in life, being in a relationship because of peer pressure from family is one of the worst things ever. But hey.
So it's called, talking with a couple different women, fancy number phones.
Am I surprised? Are you surprised? Because I know that I'm not surprised. This is Scott for out of all people.
But right now, that I see this video, he has to explain me why he's doing that.
It's a hard knock life for us. No, it's not. It is for some people, but sometimes some people just put themselves in situations that they know they can remove themselves from. And that is the situation with Scott. This whole thing could be avoidable if Lily just opened up her freaking eyes, but hey, it is what it is.
Are you going to teach me or what are you doing?
I can teach you, but once you speak to me. The other day you was honest to me. That's the thing, and then when the people is honest,
You know what though, I feel like this whole scene was just so staged. But just my opinion.
They get clapped, And I don't like to clap people because you're not honest with me.
First of all, why are you being aggressive with me? I'm just
I'm
trying
not
to talk to
aggressive, man. Like, the other day you went aggressive to my sister, remember? And
I don't know how he can deny not being aggressive. You literally said that you clap people. You're talking about clapping someone. How is that not aggressive, Pedro? They're so freaking naive and so stupid. Come on. The language you're using right now, it says it all.
Table the other time, last time.
They were yelling at me. I was trying to talk over them.
And there. I can yell over, you can talk over.
Look, are you here to kick my ass? Is that what you're trying to do? I come to talk to you.
Hey,
The problem with this scene is though, everybody knows that Scott's a hothead. Scott's always ready for a rumble. He never wastes any time with that, That's why this was pretty much pending to happen, wasn't it? But you know what though, man? If I'm 52 years of age, it's crazy because on the screen it says he's 51, but Scott says he's 52. If I'm 52 years old, am I going to want to be having a brawl with someone who's 30? Someone who's old enough to be my child? Hell to the freaking no. You know what I mean? And if I'm definitely trying to win back his mum into my life, I generally want her in my life, am I going to start having fights with her son? No. I'm going to do what I can to not have a fight with her son. I'm going to do what I can to be the bigger person. And I'm going to do more, as much as I can to reassure him that, hey, I'm here for the good reasons. But Scott's already shot himself in the foot anyway because, of course, of the video, if you know what I mean.
I can feel like that, man.
Why are they hugging for? Wow, man, just hugging. This is like a KSI Tommy Fury fight. Just hug. I mean, for me personally, if this was ever going to be a real fight, they would have seen some blows. Listen, I'm going to tell you this now. From my experience, people that hug and wrestle during a fight, usually people who are best friends, they don't really want to fight, but they got a lot of anger they want to get out. But people who are not friends and they really want to fight, the blows are coming. But hey, man, let's just enjoy the show for what it is. Now, this is my point. If you're Scott, are you gonna be brawling with somebody at the age of, like, do you know what? Forget that. Okay, if you're adults and you're ready to fight, let bygones be bygones. Let's forget age, right? But the matter of the fact is, though, oh, God, the screen is black right now, haven't I? Hey, what's going on? Green screen. Anyway, let's go back to this background here. I prefer it this way. Anyway, what was I saying now? At the end of the day, right, in this situation in particular here, if you're Scott, you're trying to win back his mom, are you going to fight with the son? No, you're not. Pathetic.
You push me.
Why are you? I think that you
Give me up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Try
Bang.
it. Crazy. You.
You a pussy.
Yeah, you are.
You a pussy.
You are.
Come on. Let me go.
So I was trying to get to know you. You gotta be the one up, bro.
You say, oh my God, I love your mom. I want your mom. Hey, what here? You get number from to the other girls.
I was talking to
You're not talking with them.
That's the truth. That's the honest truth with you. I don't know what to say. Why am I?
Country, and the first fly or something. Get the out of here the next plane because things gonna get worse.
I'll have sex with her mother as much as I want. They're gonna know about it too. And there's not a goddamn thing they're gonna do about it. You're gonna spy on me? Game on. Let's bring it.
Interesting, isn't it? So you're telling me that, okay, cool. Is this what we're doing now? This is what we're doing now. So Scott's going to try and, do some madness with the mother just out of spite of Pedro and Nicole. But that's your conversation. That's your confirmation there, ladies and gentlemen, that Scott never cared, never had any intention of actually being with Lydia. All he cared about was getting his own way. That's it. It's nothing else but that. And it's crazy because these are the things that we've exposed him for anyway throughout this year. And he's done nothing but try and deny it time and time again. Guess what, bud? There's no more denying now, is there? Well, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.